Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining our podcast, Moms on the Move. I'm Jen Wills.
And I'm Ashley Steigerwald.
We have our guest with us, who's also our sponsor,
Yes.
Lindsay Cash, DMD, owner of Pearl Dental Studio.
Dr. Cash.
Dr.
Happy to be
Lindsay,
here.
thanks so much for
Yes.
coming.
Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. I
Yeah.
kept telling Ashley, I was like, we need to meet her. She's like really all about like women empowerment, supporting each other and small business. And I love it.
Yes, that is, if anything has become even more important to me than it always was over this last year of starting a business is supporting other small businesses and, community outreach and especially supporting female-run small businesses. So I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah, you're super involved. And so you're in Five Forks off
Yes.
Batesville.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So this was kind of a homecoming for me. I'm from the upstate originally and worked as an associate dentist kind of all over the state, but we knew when we wanted to settle down and start a family that we wanted to be back in the upstate. So we're happy to be here.
You had been in Columbia?
Yes.
Okay.
I practiced in Simpsonville for a few years and then we moved to Columbia for a couple of years before we came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like noticing her teeth. They're like so white.
I know.
Okay, so pro tip, if you want
Uh-huh.
your teeth to look whiter, you guys,
Yeah.
make sure that you choose reds with blue undertones because they will make your teeth pop and look several shades whiter than they are.
Oh.
So it's about the lipstick.
It's about the lipstick.
I did a teeth whitening
Oh.
before I came because I was like, I'm going to impress her.
They look great.
I'm just going to talk like this the rest of the time.
So we recently had lunch,
Yes.
which was great. And we had such a good conversation, and I like kind of walked away being like very surprised. So if you'll tell us the why behind the reason you started your own practice.
Yeah. So, what a lot of people don't realize is that you can have healthcare practices in general that are masked as private practices that are actually run by corporations. And I feel like not just with dentistry, but with healthcare in general, these corporations have kind of taken over healthcare. And even if you're not aware that you're going to a practice that is like that, you may be. It's masked as a private practice. I was seeing that patients had kind of started to begin to get treated like insurance numbers and instead of a friendly greeting on the phone, it's, what's your insurance provider? What's your group number? And I just miss that small town feel of getting to know your patients and this is who we are where you walk into a practice and it feels like home, it feels like family. You are catching up with your friends and finding out what people's kids are doing and who's home from college, or who's home from spring break. And I missed that. And so initially I was looking into buying a practice and I just wasn't finding what I wanted and the atmosphere that I wanted. So we decided to create it.
Yeah. And you said it was super, and Bill has experience.
Yeah. It's putting the care back in healthcare because he was at a private practice in Virginia, and it was a wonderful opportunity. And there was a buy-in opportunity to eventually buy into the practice, but it was a numbers-based game. You had a set, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants to go to their doctor and realize that they were part of a profit goal for the end of the day. You think you want to go to the doctor because you want health care. And there was just this constant pressure to hit the profit numbers. Well, in whatever way necessary. They wear contacts, well, then make sure they have a backup pair of glasses and make sure they have a second backup pair of glasses. And do they need prescription sunglasses? And if people want those, that's fine. But it became the pressure to push product over healthcare. And that was a big part of our move here to Greenville because he's in a true private practice now where the focus is really the patient, the patient care aspect of it. And it wore on him when he was hitting those numbers. You didn't hit the number, you knew you were getting a call at the end of the day. Why didn't you hit your profit number? And no, it doesn't serve anybody. It serves one or two people, but it doesn't serve your patients.
I had like that was the conversation I was thinking. I felt really like,
It's gross.
silly not
Yes.
knowing that, but I had no idea that it was so like statistical and financially driven because I feel like ethically the medical practice should not be any of those. It should just be like treating the patient. And you said you had to hit a certain number.
So I would have, long, just pages and pages of emails at the end of the day for like, if the numbers changed or if something fell off the schedule. And I want to be really clear in saying that there are still small practices that are individually, privately run. There are still plenty of really great people in
Mhm.
healthcare. I do not want to misconstrue what I'm
Right.
saying,
Yeah.
but I think oftentimes a lot of people just aren't aware, or they strictly choose their healthcare provider based off of who is on their insurance list. And your insurance company isn't looking out for your best interest. They don't care if your tooth breaks or,
Mhm.
you know, put a huge filling on it. Let's not do a crown because they don't, they may not want to necessarily cover it. So I'm just very big on people being their own healthcare advocate and choosing a provider that feels right for you, even if they may not be on a specific list that your insurance company prints out for you.
Mhm. So when did you open? Wasn't it like right around
It
COVID?
was. So we opened 6 weeks before the world decided to close. So January 27th, 2020 was my first day seeing patients in our practice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
Honestly, I get that reaction a lot
Yeah.
when I tell people when we opened, but it's kind of been a blessing in
Yeah.
disguise for us because through this entire process, it let me bond with my team. It gave me the freedom to build the team that was right for the practice. It gave me the freedom and time that I wouldn't necessarily normally have had to meet other businesses in the community and really get to know the other businesses that we surround ourselves with. And those friendships had started to form right before we opened. And then we all found ourselves just in the midst of COVID and really leaning on each other. And there have been
Mhm.
so many incredible people that I've been able to really form a friendship with, a true, authentic friendship, that if COVID hadn't happened, I don't know if either of us would have ever reached out to one another and really
Or like
formed that
slowed
bond.
down long enough to
A hundred
even.
percent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
you're putting on events, you're doing a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
but I live in Five Forks too, and Five Forks is kind of this like undefined amorphous place way off the end of Woodruff
Yeah.
Road, and I love that you're
Great.
trying to give Five Forks an identity. Bringing people together for these block party events and bringing food trucks and bringing all these women-owned businesses and other businesses in Five Forks. I love that you're helping to make this identity to this kind of amorphous little place that's exploding.
It is
So it's
exploding. I
exploding.
It
love
Yay,
is
Five
Five
exploding.
Forks!
Forks.
Yay, Five
It is
Forks!
exploding, and it's such a cool town. And what I found in the midst of my life, personally and professionally, is we kind of all grow up, and then we just find ourselves in this place where you realize, hey, I'm an adult, and everybody is just kind of catty and cliquey. And I guess when I was growing up, I just figured like, oh, everybody grows out of that. And then you find yourself as an adult and you're like, no, people are just professionals now. And we're just still very cliquey and very
Yeah.
catty. And I don't have room for that in my life. And I'm
Mhm.
very much, there's plenty to go around for everybody. So let's boost each other up and build each other up and just make our community fun and support each other. Um, we love to support small whenever we possibly can. And so any giveaways that we do through the office, we try to support other local businesses. And we have started doing small business pop-ups, which have become really fun.
Mhm.
It's not self-serving. We're not doing that just to get a whole bunch of new patients.
Yeah.
We just love being in the community and like meeting people and hanging out and throwing a party. Who doesn't like to have a party?
Well, and it seems like you have a really cute team. Like the
Oh my
girls all seem real.
gosh.
Did you make your appointment?
I did, and then I had to reschedule because it was the week we weren't supposed to film, and then we ended up filming, so I need to reschedule. So I am going in, so I'll do it
Ashley has
after.
a
Yeah.
dental fear.
I do. I have a dental
okay, we
phobia.
got you, girl.
So I
We
know.
got you.
I know. And I actually feel like the more we met and talked, I was like, the first time ever making the appointment, I think I texted you, was like, I had enough drinks tonight. I made the
Make the
appointment.
appointment.
I love it.
But your team, like, and it was so funny because on social media, Pearl Dental posted, and she's like, I took all my girls. You took them up to cashiers.
Yeah.
The whole
Did she tell
team.
her?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And in the background of the photo up at cashiers is my husband. And I'm like,
So weird.
isn't that so
weird? I
weird?
can't believe you found that.
That was
yeah.
so funny when she texted me. Because it was their anniversary trip.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, is that Bill in the background?
I love
small
that you caught
world.
that. I love that you caught that. Yeah, we just went up to Highlands for our team retreat, but that's one thing that I'm fiercely protective of is my team atmosphere and having that safe and loving environment at work, because to be really honest, I'm with my team more than I'm with my family.
Mhm.
I'm with my team all day long.
Yeah.
And as a new business owner and a new practice owner, I'm the only person in the office that can do the dentistry, and then I'm the only person at night that can do the business aspect of it. So
Right.
it makes for late nights,
Yeah.
and making sure that our systems and procedures are set up like we want them to. And I could not do that without my team. My team is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But that's so important because you hear in business sometimes when there's turnover, how much time and effort do you spend in developing your staff?
Mhm.
And some people don't want to put in that time or care, but on the back end of that, how much time or effort are you putting in retraining people if you have a revolving door?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're exactly right. And I fully believe that if I take care of my team and show them how much I appreciate them and how incredible they truly are, it frees them up and gives them the emotional capacity to turn around and do the same for our patients. So it very much, allows them to and empowers them to take the best care of our patients that they possibly can.
Oh, you need a TED talk on that. You need to go around. I'm going to give you the name of some places in town, and
Yeah.
Truly, even though I had some associateship jobs that weren't the best, and I knew they weren't where I wanted to be long term, I value them so tremendously for teaching me what I didn't want to do in my
Mhm.
practice when I was the owner and how I wanted to relate to my team. It's just they are the practice. The practice is not me. The practice is us as a whole collectively.
All right, you need to go.
I know. I love this story. I'm serious.
Well, what was your story? Like, you had a really bad
I
experience.
had a horrible dental experience. Well, it was just, braces and
Yeah.
they couldn't get them right. And like it
But
was
didn't you rip them
infecting.
off?
I pulled some of the braces off. Yeah.
Mm.
And
She
so,
ripped her own braces off, guys.
That's
and
She's
hardcore.
intense.
I know.
This is really hardcore.
And so it's just been like a horrible, and it's like the metal on the teeth. Like I think about it and it's just, yeah.
I get it. I get it. So to be really honest, that's one of the reasons why I became a dentist also is I had a bad experience as a child. Um, and dentistry for me was the perfect combination of art and medicine. So it was exactly what I wanted to do. I love to work with my hands. I love to do art. And I promised myself that if I could get into dental school and get through dental school, that I didn't want other people to have, that same type of experience. So that's why we have a whole bunch of just bougie, I call it bougie mom stuff because I'm a mom. So it's things that I would want when I go to the dentist. And so
I did see like your setup. It looks really
Yeah.
nice.
it is.
What other bougie
It is. We
things?
love it. We have a television that pulls up over your head when you're leaning back so you can watch Netflix or television. We have weighted blankets. We have
Ooh.
warm
I
towels to
know.
wipe your face with after we do treatment. Yeah, it's just nice
I'm just-
headphones so you
You've
can
just like
tune
a
us
nap
out.
room.
So most of my moms come in and they're like, "Listen, I really hate the dentist. I'd rather be anywhere but here." But at the end of the appointment, it's very common for people to say, like, can I just hang out here for just a second? Like, I don't have anybody asking me for a snack or a
Oh, yeah.
drink. Like,
I get it.
Can you just roll me in the
can
weighted
you
blanket
just
like a
can you just
cocoon?
let me chill here
I've
for a
actually
second?
like recently Googled some weighted blankets because I feel like I want to look into that. But they're expensive.
They're so cozy though.
They are?
They're so cozy. Yeah.
Do you have one?
No, I don't. Well, but I don't like being restrictive, but I'm thinking in that atmosphere, like roll the like.
See, I do
tuck
at
me in.
night. No, I don't want to be like snuggled.
Mm-hmm.
I get hot. Too much for me.
Yeah.
I don't like to be touched. But maybe by a weighted blanket, I might.
It's nice. And it's not super heavy. Like it's not restrictive. It's just kind of calming. You know how it feels when somebody puts the x-ray
Mhm.
down over you?
Yeah.
It's just like that little bit of
Yes.
weight. It's kind of like that.
That's like Bo. He has a weighted sleep sack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And he loves it. He's
Yes.
still in it. He's
Mm-hmm.
like going to be 17 months. But it's
Whatever
I
works.
he doesn't have a blanket, so I keep it on him. But it was like when he was little, it was supposed to relax him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it worked or if it was a gimmick, but
Hey, whatever works.
he's sleeping
If
through the
he's
night.
sleeping through the
He
night,
It
is.
doesn't matter.
that's
Yeah.
what matters.
And so
Yeah.
how old is your son?
3.
Okay.
He's 3.
Okay.
So, I went back and forth. I had a lot of mom guilt as like who doesn't, right? I feel like
Yeah.
all of us have the mom guilt about anything that we can make ourselves have it about. But for me, it was starting a business and starting a practice. And I knew that it was going to take some late nights and some weekends and working on some days off, at least initially while we get up and running. But, I just felt like doing it while he's still young, when I'm not missing baseball games and
Yeah.
soccer
Yep.
games and, stuff like that. I'm hoping that that's the right choice, but, there's
And
never, it's just like
There's
there's
a
never a right
lot of
time to have a
truth.
kid. There's
There's a
never
lot
a
of
right
truth to
time
that
to have a
though.
business.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like the older the boys are getting, the more involved in, like the extracurriculars we are. And like now Bennett wants to run cross country. I'm like,
That's great.
he's 6. Like, what? 6-year-old running cross.
That's
He's like
awesome.
Forrest
I
Gump.
bet he's super fast.
He just runs. Like he'll just
Yep.
take off and run laps around the backyard. And I'm like, all right, buddy, power to you for that.
Mhm.
But yeah, he wants to do all these things. He's like, I want to sign up for soccer. And right now we're in T-ball and coaches pitch. And we do basketball. And I mean, yeah, so it's
Yeah.
going to be more stuff. So I feel
Mhm.
like you starting is actually a great thing.
I didn't want to look back 10 years down the road and say, I wish I had gone for that. I
Yeah.
wish I had done that, or I wish I hadn't stayed in a job that I wasn't fulfilled by. And I feel like it is very easy to mom shame,
Mhm.
and other people look at where they are in their life, and that's the only right way. And for me, being a stay at home mom full time just wasn't right for me. That doesn't mean that it's not right for plenty of people. It's just
Mhm.
not where I was in my life. So I'm big on that. And
Yeah.
I think that if you have something you want to do, you should go for it, because this is your shot. This is the one life you've got.
You
Go
get
for it.
that's the one shot, and you get to make your own schedule.
Yeah.
That's the great thing.
Yeah.
You've
Mhm.
got that flexible scheduling where yeah, you're pulling a lot of time and late nights and administrative right now, but you're building something,
Mhm.
and he's going to see that. He's going to see, hey, look, my mom built something really amazing
Mhm.
that allowed her to have a flexible schedule so we can take a long weekend
Mhm.
and go on a trip somewhere. I mean, I think that's such an important lesson. And I loved your point of just support everybody where they are.
Mhm.
Just,
You know the book you told me to read?
which one?
Glennon Doyle.
Untamed.
Untamed. So I'm reading, listening to it, and there was a few things that stuck out, but like the biggest one was that you're always gonna upset someone in a decision,
Mhm.
like always, because everyone has such differing opinions on something.
Mhm.
So like no matter what, you'll find someone that
Mhm.
finds that decision wrong.
Yep.
So
I
as long as
totally
you
agree with that.
follow your gut and you're doing the right thing for yourself. But
Yeah.
yeah, the mom guilt thing is so real.
It's
so
real, and I
real.
feel like we're at a really exciting time right now,
Yes.
because I feel like now more than ever, and it's maybe it's just because I finally took that leap, but I feel like now more than ever, women are starting to be like, I can do this,
Mhm.
and I can do a side hustle and still be
Mhm.
at the soccer game, or I
Yep.
can start my own business, or I can quit a successful job that I've had forever and ever because I have a dream of doing something else, and I can do that. And if I'm going to take a chance, if I'm gonna gamble, I'm gonna gamble on myself. Like, what better thing can you roll the dice on? Like, give yourself a shot.
And
Mhm.
you talked about that abundance mindset. Like,
Mhm.
I just want to shake people, like, stop fighting other women for the perceived seat at the table.
Yes.
Stop.
Yeah.
Bring up a chair and bring her with you. We've got to stop this scarcity mindset where there's only the one spot for the woman, or the one niche. No. We have to, it's an abundance. It is an abundance mindset, and we all have to start just supporting one another and
Yeah.
make room at the table. And if you have a platform or a voice in an organization, you need to use that platform to amplify the voices of people who don't have a seat at the table.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I was rushing over here directly from an online CE. So I was doing a continuing education this morning with the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. And there was a group of like 15 of us online from all over the country that were taking this. And Jill Colson's name popped up, and she's another dentist that practices in Greenville. And I immediately sent her a message. I was like, Jill, is this the Jill Colson that practices in Greenville? Like, it's so great to see you. And it makes me sad that there are plenty of people that would have immediately been like, "Ugh, I can't believe there's somebody else local taking this course." Like, I
Yep.
just, there's so much room for all of us, and I feel like if we can boost each other up and wrap our arms around each other, how much more successful we would all be by collaborating with each other instead of competing with each other all the time.
Yep.
So it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe
Nope.
maybe it's
I think you have
maybe
the
it's a
exact right mentality
Yep.
and like approach to everything. And that's
Yep.
why I felt like we connected so well, because I just loved everything you were
Yeah.
like about and saying. I was like, Oh my gosh, she's awesome.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you.
It's-
Thank you. It's really sweet.
I've got a little, and I'm not a superstitious person, but a little Chinese fortune cookie thing that I keep in my car. And it's so old, it's like perfectly straight right now. But it says, do the right thing and the money will follow.
Yeah. Yep.
And I get that you're running a business, but I love the fact that you're putting the care and healthcare first. And if you do the right thing, the patients will follow, the word of mouth will follow, and the money will always follow if you're doing the right thing.
I completely believe that. And my patients and my team will always come above myself 100%. Like at the end of the day, that's what matters to me.
Yeah.
That and my family, of course, obviously. But I just feel like it's such a cool community. It's such a cool community to be a part of. And when we came back, one of the reasons why I was really drawn to you guys is when I came back to the upstate, a lot of the people that I grew up with had scattered, everybody had dispersed, and it's hard to make friends as an adult.
Yeah.
And nobody tells you that when you're growing up. You just find yourself as an adult and you're like, where do I find other people to hang out with? Where do I find other moms? And so I think you guys are really filling a huge niche with that and giving people an outlet and a way to communicate with other moms, because there are so many people like us that want to get involved and want to meet other moms, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
It's
very isolating.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, so you are, again, off Batesville Road.
Yes, we're at 117 Batesville Road.
117, and you're accepting new patients.
Accepting new patients, and you can shop at Rustic to Refined while you're
Yeah.
there. We're in
Awesome.
their parking lot.
And you can book online.
You can book online.
I
Yeah.
was like,
And you can get your
Yes.
weighted blanket.
You can get a weighted blanket. Yeah, come hang out. Even if you just want to stop by the office and check us out, happy to have you.
And you're our sponsor, so we are very grateful for you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
too.
you.
and we should be brushing twice a day, 2 minutes,
Yeah.
All the things.
flossing.
Flossing.
I mean, yeah.
She's like, yeah.
Yes.
Well, there was that one time they were like, oh, actually, it's not as big of a deal.
What?
It's
Remember that?
it's a lie.
That's a lie. So it is a really
It's a
big deal.
Yeah.
I
big
wanted
deal.
to believe that.
Yeah.
Do you
Don't-
floss?
Yes.
Okay.
Flossing feels so good.
Yeah.
It does
I'm-
feel so good.
Yeah, I'm so weird about
Not when you're
flossing.
pregnant, though.
Pregnancy does weird things to your gum tissue. It
Yes,
can.
It makes
but
it bleed.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah.
The hormones change. That's
Everything.
legit. That's a legit thing.
Right.
But you should still do it. It's actually more important than ever when you're pregnant to floss, even if you're bleeding a little bit.
Okay.
Now that you're planning on
We're
getting
not the
pregnant
flossing
anytime
police.
soon.
You're
Not
good.
that-
You're
Heck
good.
no. I am done. Well, thank you so
You're
much
so
for
welcome.
joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So thank you to obviously Lindsay, our sponsor, and also Wilson Associates Real Estate, Parham Smith and Archenhold, and Blackacre Closing Attorneys. Thank you, everybody, for your support, and we look forward to seeing you next time.